How's everyone doing out there tonight? Happy Friday in the middle of this quarantine. We're back. We're talking a little Scott Pilgrim versus the world, and I am your host, PJ Campbell. How's everyone doing? I'm hoping everyone's good. I know it's a lot going on right now, but we're happy that you guys are here. It's going to be a good time, man. We are about to talk about one of my favorite comic book films, maybe of all time, maybe one of my favorite films of all time. I'm a big Edgar Wright fan, and that means a lot to me. Edgar Wright, I think, is one of the best filmmakers that's come out of the last 20 years, arguably one of the most interesting auteurs. And I think that this movie, specifically, at least to me, really shines a light on just what a great filmmaker he is. So I'm very excited to talk about this. So I've got quite a few people here with me tonight because, as it turns out, I am not the only one who loves this movie. There's a lot of us who do, and there's a good reason for that. It is a movie made by nerds, for nerds, just like me. Starting with two people that I'm very excited to have from Australia. Well, one of them I'm excited to have here because I really like her. We could take or leave the Aussie himself. But that is Jacob and Taylor. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Don't you feel so loved, Jacob?
Oh, I do. I feel so loved. So loved. It's just, you're so great to me. I really, Pat, you clearly do just love me so much.
I really, really do. And I'm really, really glad that you are here. Well, at least, like I said, Taylor, because I really, really like Taylor Robinson. Jacob Blunden, Taylor Robinson, how are you guys? How is Australia treating you?
I mean, we're not technically under quarantine here fully, so it's been an interesting...
We're both on leave, which is good.
Yeah, we have a week off this week, so we just took our own initiative to be like, no, we're just staying home from work, so that's pretty cool. I'm really freaking excited about this, though. I love this movie so much. It's one of my favorites, probably, top 50 favorites of all time, definitely. So I'm really, really stoked to get to watch this.
Yeah, I'm excited to rewatch this. I haven't seen this movie in years. I remember the first time I watched it, I was always a bit... It's enjoyable. Like it's an enjoyable, fun film.
I cannot.
Yeah, I could be sleeping on this couch tonight. So this is going to be an exciting, enjoyable experience for both of us.
I'm just going to say this out loud again because I said it earlier. Why do you talk?
Who gave him a microphone?
Who gave?
For God's sake!
For God's sake, man! You're supposed to like things like this, and yet here we are. But they're not the only ones we have here. Someone I'm very excited to have back. Someone I love very much. Someone who is one of the co-founders of the PJ Campbell Show, one of the co-founders of the PJ Campbell Network, and that is the man, the myth, the legend, Frankie Numbers. How you doing, Frank? Oh, hey! Yeah, you're a little low, but we can hear you.
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you, sir?
Is that good?
It's good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
What about now?
I mean, still good.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying to you. I'm really glad you're here. Why would I lie to you?
Because I don't know, maybe.
I have no reason to lie to you. I love you. I'm glad you're here. How are you, sir?
I'm a little, I shouldn't be tired, but I'm a little tired. Well, I'm not tired in like the traditional sense where like I want to take a nap. I'm just, I literally walked in the door maybe like 10 minutes ago because I still have to go to my job. So it was,
Chris Adams says you need to be a little bit higher.
You freaking liar. I knew it.
I didn't say it.
All right, how about now?
Now you're good. Now.
Oh, now I'm good? Okay. How you guys doing? Jacob and Taylor, how you guys doing?
We're good.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this.
You guys are a little low. But no.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. And we wouldn't be here today without our graphics guy, and that is none other than Chris Clark. Chris Clark, how are you doing? What are you playing with now?
Oh, I'm on a date. I'm on a date with a rancor. Hello. No. Inside joke right there. Just inside joke right there. Okay.
He can't hear you.
The new Smasher.
He can't hear you though. He can't hear you.
He's a little low.
He just wanted his.
Yeah, but we're gonna have fun with this one. Like I was having fun playing with the Rancor toy. This is a great.
Well, Chris, whatever you do on your own time is your business, man. So.
Oh, it's great. It's fun. So
but Chris!
I love Scott Pilgrim. Oh, what?
Chris.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Frank.
Yeah,
hi.
that's me.
Oh, yeah. It's you. It's like Rundown 2.0. Anyway, let's rock this sucker to the end of time. Remember that? Let's do this.
I knew you were gonna say that.
So we've got this whole group here, but there's one last person that I'm sure a lot of you are excited to see, except for Frank. I know Frank is not happy that this gentleman is here, and that is our Canadian Pat Hogue. Hi, Pat Hogue.
God.
Hey guys.
What are you wearing?
Guys, this movie is set in Canada, in Vancouver.
Yes, we're aware.
So I wanted to make sure that I was prepped for it. I have hot chocolate with whipped cream that's dripping over my desk. I have a hot pocket. I'm really
You look sexy.
There's a lot of layers going on.
I'll tell you what,
here.
though. I tell you what. This
Hey,
actually
Frank.
works. This works for me because you don't look like your normal self, which helps me out a lot. Because now I don't have to look at what you really look like.
Frank, I'm like a reverse nuclear bomb. You put the layers on top of me, and it stops the effect going to everybody
Okay.
else.
I think you're
I'm
gonna go
taking
with
care of you.
I thought you were gonna go with the onion
No,
analogy, but okay. You Canadian.
No, I don't have layers. I'm very simple. Look at me.
What? You just said you had layers.
But like a bomb shelter,
Oh, okay.
not like an onion.
Like a
bomb shelter's one layer. It's less.
Sure. Okay.
Hey
All right.
guys, I love Scott Pilgrim.
I definitely missed all of you so very much, as it's very clear at the moment, and I'm really glad you're all here.
This is so
we're
hot.
going to be talking, as I said, it is the 10th anniversary screening, if you will, of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. We're doing it just a couple months early because we really like this movie, and stuff sucks right now, and we really wanted to enjoy this. We wanted to have a good time, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to sit down and watch this, and at the end of the episode, just like last time, we'll sit through the credits, we'll talk about the movie, and we're going to announce Monday night's watch-along. We are doing another animated film, and I'm very excited to make that announcement when we get to it. But with all of that said, does everyone have the movie ready to go? Are you all set?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In my
PJ, I'm
mind.
changing.
I'm playing it in my mind.
Excellent.
I had to restart
I
it
was
3
hoping.
times, but let's do this.
Good. So what we're going to do, just like last time, if you are watching from home, we are going to count down from 5. When we say go, you're going to hit play just like the rest of us. We're all going to watch this great film together, and I can't wait. Jacob, please don't talk. Just don't. I don't want to hear about you not liking
This
this
is
movie
a
when we do this.
Can I
commentary,
just take
right?
this away and just not give him the opportunity because
I'll mute myself. Well, apparently he doesn't really care for this movie, Frank. So I don't.
What?
know
It's
why
not that I don't.
yeah.
Oh my god! It's not that I don't care for it. I think it is a good movie. I just don't think it's the greatest comic book
Jacob,
movie ever made.
It's fine. Your opinions are invalid, though.
Exactly.
So I can't talk about it.
So the real reason that we're on this at all is because I love this movie and Jacob's just kind of here.
That's what relationships do, kids. We keep one person around because we like one of the others. All right. So with that, we're going to count down from 5, and we are going to be watching Scott Pilgrim versus the World in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
And immediately cements itself as one of the best movies ever made with the Universal logo. Thank you.
100%. The
I do
Alien
love that.
logo.
I have it on good authority that the only reason that they could do this with the Universal logo was because they would have to play the actual non-8-bit version later on in the movie.
That makes sense.
What point in the movie do they play it? Oh, wait, hold on.
It's-
Mic drop.
Are you from Toronto? Are you from Toronto?
No.
No, you're not, are you?
Wait, didn't you say that they shot this? Though this was set in Vancouver, and
Yeah.
made me question myself. I was like, "Hang on, no, it's
Inaccurate
No,
with
it's
that.
not. It's
I was wrong.
Oh my gosh, I love
So,
this movie so
I'm now
order-
older than Scott Pilgrim, you guys. I don't know how to feel about that.
so. Pat, first criticism of the movie.
No, you stop that.
How do you?
Yeah.
How do you? What?
I'm kidding. It was based off the conversation we had yesterday about aspect ratios.
Great.
It's strange, how this movie, weirdly for half a year, made Michael Cera an action hero, and then no film has ever put him into that.
No one has
category
ever attempted
again.
it since.
He's just
Do you
it
guys
makes sense for that.
Do you remember when he was cast? Because there was a lot of backlash initially from the comic book fans because they didn't think that he was right for the role. But as it turns out, I actually think he was kind of perfect because there is a little bit of Sarah that is kind of scummy, and Scott's not necessarily the nicest person.
Oh, he's horrible.
Scott is not
Scott's
a
a
good
dick.
person at all.
Like Scott is
Yeah.
a dick.
The
means
movie is
well.
about toxic masculinity. Like, it's about a guy being a jerk to all like the girls in his life and has to overcome that and like be selfless. He's a horrible person.
Yes,
Okay, I
exactly.
love it.
So when I first saw this movie, which was like 2
She
years
has the
ago for the
capacity.
first time ever.
Wait, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was when I was with Alex Marzonia at the whatever company. I forget the name of the company, but they put
The
the
street
theaters
food
in the
restaurant.
park. Yeah. And so I went there and I saw it for the first time in the park.
I love
And
that so
He
much.
drops the coat.
He's just like, nah.
The dialogue just had me hooked.
Right. The dialogue is great in this movie. This script is whip smart. Again, Edgar Wright, man. He
That's
knows
a
what he's
load.
doing. That's a loaded question.
That's kind of a big question.
Young Mila.
I will say this. Alison Pillar is absolutely incredible in this movie. Like, she is fantastic.
Well, you are not the only one. John Malloy says the same thing. Alison Pill is awesome. Manir, he also says she really is. They went on to say that they really love her in the newsroom, and I do not disagree.
I think that's the other thing. I'm just gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
You know what's
But, like,
interesting?
We're
Oh,
having
go ahead,
a love fest over this movie, Jacob. Do you not understand
What's-
the point of this?
What's interesting about like how this movie starts and everything? It's just like how Hogue, even for you who makes who's making films, like how do you begin to even imagine how to create something like this? Obviously, there's a lot of work into it, but like,
Well, that's the thing of like I was talking to PJ last week after the Frozen 2 commentary and bringing up this is the next movie we're going to watch. This is one of the most impressively directed movies because it is so reliant on transitioning. It is so reliant on the pacing of like each scene being very specific. And usually when you edit and direct a movie, you figure it out in the edit. You kind of have an idea, but you kind of really fine tune it as you're editing it. This one had to be so planned out, like from pre-production, that the directing had to be so confident of all this weird junk we're going to do, every transition, every like elongating the living room, every like whip pan to a new scene had to just work. And it was just on Edgar Wright to be like, it's going to be good. And so it's like really impressive that it's not only pulled off as well as it is, but that it's incredible.
Diego Crespo is also wanting to say Alison Pill amazing, however, newsroom bad. So
What?
that's from Diego.
Well, before we jump into some negativity, because we're not gonna do that.
We'll get there.
Can we just talk about just the cast list that just
Yes.
flashed across the screen? Because looking back on it now,
Yeah.
holy crap!
There's so
Like-
many A-list actors in this now. All of a sudden, like
yeah,
I know.
ridiculous.
And what's crazy, like at this point, Chris Evans has only just been cast as Captain America. Like he literally has been cast 10 years ago this week.
Right.
Brie Larson at the time was a sideline actress. Like
I didn't even know this was Brie Larson for like until like for the longest time. I was like, what?
Like
Crazy.
it's crazy how many people are actually like from this movie.
Aubrey Plaza in this movie.
Yeah, she's in it. Like it's just crazy.
Mike K wants to ask where we would rank Sex Babam on our list of fictional bands.
Ooh.
Pretty damn high.
I agree. Brandon Buckingham, what broadcast system we're using? We actually use StreamYard now. We got StreamYard specifically to start the channel. We are enjoying it very much.
I love
more
him so much
talented
in this
he
movie.
is
Oh my
Culkin.
god, Culkin is so good in this.
So great.
He cemented himself as one of my favorite all-time character actors in this movie.
Yeah.
And then in Fargo season 2, he was so great. And the funny thing about that was they hyped up him being in it, and then they killed him off in the season premiere, and it was amazing.
Well, now I don't need to
I
watch
love that.
Fargo
I
season
love
2.
the timing of that shot.
Anna
It's
Kendrick!
how we were just talking, how Pat was just talking about how precise all of it had to be. Like trying to get that sequence to work.
Yeah.
Like him texting, the phone going off the swipe, like that timing is impeccable.
You
And it's like-
gossipy bitch.
It's just all the more interesting how like this movie sits in like Edgar Wright's filmography because it uses all of his stuff, all of his like phonetic, like kinetic energy, but channels it to such different uses, whether it's in the action scenes or the transitions. Whereas like Shaun of the Dead and like Hot Fuzz use it much more, just kind of like uniformly throughout the film. This one uses it very specifically.
Yeah.
It's great.
Diego said, if all movies had this level of meticulous pre-production, the world would be better off. I do not disagree with you.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with that either. That's...
Chris Adams said, this is Edgar Wright's style. He does this kind of planning in Baby Driver 2. Yes, he did, which is why the opening of Baby Driver is as amazing. Like him walking down the street, incredible. No.
Editing is amazing.
Manish Tolkien is super hot. I have a hard time disagreeing with that, and I am
also, yes.
Yeah.
Run.
Oh, that's what PJ said to you.
Oh,
It's
how
I was
romantic.
hardcore
I'm,
to DDR when this came out.
I was never. I'm not familiar with the source material. I don't know like how it lives up to it.
It's real close throughout until there's a certain point and it completely shifts and changes because the last volume hadn't come out yet while they were working on it.
Well, it's funny. There's actually an alternate ending to this movie because they were convinced they didn't know the ending and they were convinced that he would end up with someone else.
Right.
And then when they realized in the graphic novel, he doesn't end up with her. He ends up with Ramona. They had to reshoot the ending.
It wasn't just that. The test audiences also did not like him ending up with knives.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why.
Right.
I kind of get why. Like that's, yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because
what's interesting about the ending though, I feel like they got both of those endings.
They did a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of.
We'll get to the ending.
We'll get there. But yes,
Queen
Queen has arrived.
That's just in head.
Thank you, Julie.
Has
Baby
issues.
City.
Same girl, same.
I just Brie Larson.
I know. Oh.
They signed to a major label. Do you read her blog?
Like anyone who doesn't think he's a dick, he is just 100% a dick at the entire through 90% of the film, and then that's his arc. Like obviously, like that's the whole point.
But it's it's so passive aggressive that it's like smarmier.
Yeah.
He makes her pay for like the arcade game.
Yeah,
does all this kind of junk.
He like does that little nod, like
it's like
Looking
taking
X.
the trope of her dating the older guy because it's cool and him just being a jackass.
Yeah.
Like
And then him dating a high schooler, which is
Well,
he's 22.
Do you see all the hints throughout that he's going to have one of Ramona's? Like all throughout, he's got the little X on his jacket, and they walk down the X. He's always going to be an X. Like they're always kind of hinting at that's going to happen. Stephanie Begg says, "Love Aubrey Plaza. She's fantastic." I agree.
Yes,
it's really good. I like her.
It's just imagine if Edgar Wright still did Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
God,
I know.
I always find myself wondering what that would have looked like.
This
clearly, it never would have fit in the MCU. Like,
that's my thing. That's my
I don't
thing.
care.
I know.
Like,
I don't either.
DC has proven now that like James Wan can go make his Saturday morning cartoon Aquaman, and like it'll fit in with like the Shazam that's more of a Sam Raimi movie, or like the Wonder Woman that's more of a traditional.
Real quick,
movie.
Diego says, "Where is Anna Kendrick? Why isn't she in more movies?" You can currently see her on Disney Plus. She's in that Christmas movie that they did last year.
Or in Trolls
Oh, yeah.
World Tour.
Actually, I'm really excited about Trolls World Tour because I love.
We don't use the E word in this house. Is one of my favorite lines in the movie.
Isn't she in on a national commercial too? I forget which one it is.
Yeah, she's in a hotel commercial. Or
hotel. Yeah.
I do miss Anna Kendrick though.
I love that scene so much.
I will say that the editing and directing of this is absolutely incredible.
Chris Adams says it wouldn't have fit the MCU to the Ant-Man comic, but it would have been amazing. And I don't disagree.
Here's my thing. I think it would have fit the MCU now because they've been a lot more willing to let directors go nuts.
Yeah, after Ragnarok.
But I am still so in love with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, you guys.
Oh God,
my
how
God.
could you not be though? How could you not be though?
Cloverfield
Jesus.
Lane was when I was like,
well, that
everyone says that I fell in love with her through Scott Pilgrim, but for me it's Sky High. Like,
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Sky High was like
Sky
the
High
film
is
that I
a
remember
classic.
Can
okay?
we should do Sky High as one
Can
of
we
our
may
please?
do
Can
Sky
we
High.
please do
Yeah.
Sky High? Oh my God, that's all my dreams coming true at one time.
Okay.
Sorry, was
You gotta-
that too much enthusiasm?
No,
Should
no, I
lower it
agree.
down?
I'm
Manich
just thinking
as
on your
you
dreams.
is so cool. I do not disagree.
Dream bigger,
with
is that what you're telling me?
Got a low bar.
You know
Brandon-
what? In the current state of the world, I'm trying to keep my dreams low at this point. Okay.
Who's ever been at a party and just like, I'm gonna go peek, I'm bored here. Like,
Me.
totally relate.
Yeah.
Several
You
times.
guys have been to
100%.
parties?
Well, I'm not surprised you haven't been.
Actually, it's funny. We don't do this sort of shit. Like, we don't really have these kind of parties. Like,
Oh, you're missing out.
You,
a
dude,
girl
I
that
used to
looks
have
like
these
this?
kind of parties. We used to have these kind of parties before Schmodown events in my apartment.
Yeah.
I know
That
you
is
did.
a true story, yes.
I know you did.
Is this where the girl has the
Except-
period on the guy's lap?
No, that would be
What?
super bad, Chris
Oh,
Clark.
that's super bad. That's super bad. Man.
If that would be a very interesting addition to this movie.
Yep.
Poor Diego says, "Please don't talk about going to parties right now. Too soon."
It's true. COVID anxiety.
Yeah,
That's great.
I will
love the
say I never
soundtrack.
really had friends with houses this big, so the parties I went to were never quite like this. But it was all these people, but crammed into a smaller house.
Now, Hogue, are all your houses like this? Really, really big up in Canada?
Yeah, no, there's
All
always like
that?
nooks and crevices where you can like hide into. Everyone has like a secret room. It's like,
Wow.
you hide like a sibling in that. You don't want them to be like found anymore. It's
Right.
neat.
Frank, you have watched American movies where they just have the same thing about, American parties, right? With the house sizes.
Stephanie, are you saying the party
Yeah.
in the movie is your kind of
Yeah.
party, or are you saying this right here, where we're talking about movies, is your kind of party? Because if it's this one, I agree with
True.
you.
Have
Gigawatt.
you guys?
Ramona
have you guys
practicing
ever
safe
used-
distance.
Yeah. Have you guys ever used the Pac-Man line at a like on someone?
No, I haven't. I should.
You should. You should.
I'll leave you
Try
alone
it out.
forever now is me in real life.
Yeah,
that
that's-
is all the time.
Oh, when he talks to the lady dudes, that's fun.
Oh, guys, Stephanie says this is her kind of party. So we're doing it right.
Aw.
Stephanie, we
Thanks,
love you.
Stephanie.
I love that line. All we know is she's American.
Yeah.
American.
Lady dudes. The lady dudes thing reminds me a little bit of Bill and Ted, just even in the delivery. That sounds like something Bill and Ted would say in their movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, lady dudes.
Battle
Just
scars,
Scars,
dude.
Dude.
Tell me now.
The job at Amazon is so just
I know.
nice touch.
Did she really? I mean,
Jerky jerk.
God, the dialogue is just still so good.
It's so
I know,
good.
it
It
hits
is.
so good.
And it's because of the cast too. Like we were talking about it off mic earlier, Taylor and I. Like Aaron Sorkin
Yeah.
write a script, but it really is on the cast to deliver the stuff he writes. This movie feels no different to me.
I agree with this. This and Molly's Game feel very similar to me in terms of the cast really having to hit the dialogue correctly. Otherwise, it just doesn't feel like it works.
Steve Jobs also
That's
for Fassbender. That movie.
it's PJ coming home.
That is kind of me.
It looks so comfortable though. It looks like a really great way
Wait,
to
so
get
am I the
started.
gay best friend now?
No, you're the one who comes home and opens the door and goes, "Guess who's drunk?"
That's what I'm saying. Guess who's drunk? I guess Wallace. You guess right. Because that does sound like me, actually.
We all need a conscience like Wallace.
Oh, I just noticed.
Jonathan Peck would like you to say that you've got something under your nose, Hogue.
What?
You have something
Not
under your
even.
nose. You need to quit doing cocaine, please, on the podcast. Kelly, guess who's drunk? I guess Wallace.
I don't get it. It was weird.
The panda pill is killer. I do not disagree. And this is peak Aubrey Plaza. I also agree.
Is it peak Aubrey Plaza? I don't think so.
I don't know, man. This is like what made her Aubrey Plaza, I feel like.
Well, she's already on Parks and Rec, right?
Right.
Yes, no, Parks and Rec is right. Ingrid Goes West is her.
Ingrid Goes-
Oh,
Yeah,
Ingrid Goes West is so good.
She's also
Her
really
and
funny
Elizabeth
in
Olsen, oh my god.
in Zack and Miri Need Wedding Dates. She's really funny in that.
So is this not literally all of us even looking at things where it's like we should read this information and then we get bored really quick and we just ignore it?
That's me at work.
Exactly.
Excuse me,
All the
PJ,
time.
I'm a professional. I
don't
read
know.
every email. Even the ones from Scandinavia that say they're going to make me the inheritor of a
Boring.
French king that
Totally.
died, and I get all of his money as long as I give him my bank account information.
Are
That
you
sounds
waiting for the
legit.
package you just ordered?
Yeah, I do that all the Ding.
God, just it's so good.
How can I forget? That's so
John Malloy says yes, Mike and Dave. Stephanie says she's so great in Ingrid Goes West, so it looks like you guys have Ingrid Goes West fans as well.
Which is, that movie is so underappreciated to me. So many people haven't watched it, but it's so good.
I admit, I unfortunately.
I just noticed that "Do Not Sit" sign.
I'll say this too. How good is Michael Cera that he, even in this, like just the way he carries himself, he's so uninterested. Like it's a physical performance too, and he's
Oh,
so
yeah.
awesome. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. You know who's like an expert on this movie? Janine.
Is she?
Yeah. This is like one of her
Why did-
quintessential.
I didn't know that, or I would have had her here.
Yeah.
We're
Damn.
missing out, man.
Mm.
Yeah, I just remembered right now. Because that's where I learned the Universal.
A perfect time to
Nugget.
know that is 30 minutes into this where we're.
Hey, is the movie over? Is the movie over?
Yeah.
It's not.
Oh, that's
So-
fair. Gigawatt says, "How does that game follow arm movements?" That is a great question.
I'm upset none of them have more of a Canadian accent.
Are you not represented enough?
No.
You don't have an accent.
What are you talking about? Weird. All right. They sound like this the whole time, but I don't get why you're pointing it out now. Strange.
Wow, it's like you sound like a drunken Irishman when you do the accent.
What are you talking about? I'm just fighting.
When did you become a drunk leprechaun?
Is that a line or just an
No.
insult to me right now?
I mean, look, every live stream
I'll
needs a
take it.
Steve the Pirate, okay?
Dodgeball. Dodgeball. That was a great reference. Well done, Taylor.
Thank you very much. That's the only one you guys are going to get from me, so enjoy
P-Bar
it.
is great.
This is the part in the trailer that sold me. I'm like, oh,
And
this is a video game movie.
Yeah, and
Right.
this is like maybe the best video game movie, and it's
way
not
he
even
just
like a real video game, and
Tries
that's
his
so
hands.
good.
Guys, in a pandemic, that's not how you should wash your hands, okay? Don't.
That's true.
Scott Pilgrim is the reason we have COVID-19.
This music sounds so much like Zelda music. I
It
love
is. I'm pretty like 90% sure that's
Yeah,
the
it's
point.
it's
It's definitely
it's linked from the past. It's linked from the past, and he got the rights to
Really?
use it from Nintendo. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey. And then
The-
him kind of doing the,
Yeah.
listen, yeah,
We stand a legend.
Manish,
Wow.
Scott Vid 19. Yes.
Or like Scovid.
Yes, COVID 19. Mike K says the best video game movies are usually the ones that aren't actual video game adaptations.
Yeah.
And I don't have a hard time disagreeing with that.
So, random trivia for that scene then. Edgar Wright obtained permission to use the famous theme song from Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past by writing a letter to Nintendo saying that it is considered to be the nursery rhyme of this generation.
I
Wow.
I just
So
love,
this shot coming up, they did practically, and it took like 32 takes.
yeah. And I love that line too. Were you the Pac-Man guy? No, that was some total other ass. Like just the way he delivers it. I mean, to be fair, I think we all want to hang out with Mew. And he throws it in the trash.
They did that for real.
That
What
must
did he
have been
get?
a freaking nightmare.
I don't know. We never find
No
out.
one knows.
I like to think it was a toothbrush.
You assumed wrong.
Oh,
So again, he's a dick because he, made her wait.
Because he thought she was too cool.
Yeah.
He was trying to play up to her. He just messed up.
Gideon. Scott,
He didn't have a
back
lot of
off.
questions for like a first date.
I know, Jesus.
Like,
He's
why?
not even like trying to play it cool.
No, because he's not cool. He's some total ass.
But he's
Yeah,
weirdly confident, which is like
I know.
the problem with like these kind of guys. Of like, you have nothing to back it up, but you're going to showboat and be like, you want to hang with me, right?
Right. Chris Adams said, "Yeah, Winstead is full crush here." I mean, again, I do not disagree.
100%.
And every time she changes her hair color, unlike Scott, I'm like, oh dear God. Gigawatt says the crossbow killer, the early years.
She's great in Birds of Prey.
She is
Oh
great.
God, yes, she is.
If you guys haven't
I mean, she
seen
didn't have
Birds of Prey, please watch Birds of Prey.
Oh, it's so good,
Yeah.
and she's so great in it. Like the amount of effort that she puts into her character in the movie, even though we don't get to see that much of her, is so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then a rock ballad starts to play.
This
Greatest
movie
movie
just,
ever
like-
made.
Like, this movie is just so good. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just wildly entertained nonstop.
So to Mike's point, he says, how many changes does she go through? That is a great 5-point question that we might have to think about for the Schmodown later.
She's pink and blue.
So this bit
right?
here, she actually had to. She memorized it. The crew offered to put it on a piece of paper for her to read, but she actually memorized it.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's killer. Manish, actually, I rewatched Gemini Man last night, and while I still don't love the movie, I agree with you. She's very endearing. She is maybe
True.
the best part of that
Oh
movie.
my god, she
True.
was in that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't remember that?
I don't remember much of that movie.
I
just remember
yeah.
being disappointed in how
Yeah.
much they could have
Yeah.
done with the premise.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember her being. I was like, she's miscast because she's too young. Like for him.
Just
That
slightly.
was I
But-
mean, like she was really good. But,
She was good in it. She just
Yeah.
it felt a little. I don't know.
Yeah.
John,
That movie was.
John says Birds of Prey, it's okay.
Dude, this scenario almost never happens, man. Let me tell you.
I
I like how
you.
you
This
preface.
is how we
I
know
like
it's a
that you
movie.
preface that with almost.
No,
Let
I
me
mean,
say right now, it is
it
not
can't
happening.
happen.
It is not
I
happening.
love that shot so much.
I do too. Again, the editing is so good.
I mean,
Do I think her team are picking the wrong movies? No, not necessarily, because I thought Fargo season 3 was a perfect pick, and Birds of Prey honestly probably should have been a home run. I'm still trying to figure out, in
Yeah,
my
they've-
opinion, why it
they
didn't.
messed that up, man.
Yeah, because I think for all intents and purposes, that movie should have made a lot more money.
I also think
I-
that movie's getting the ramifications of people learning that Suicide Squad wasn't good. And so
That's
it's like,
probably
fool me
fair.
once. And then they see that she's headlining it, and she's like, no, she was in that bad movie. And then you see this, and you're like,
But
oh.
they also did freaking nothing when it came to marketing.
Hmm.
So they dropped the ball there completely.
Yeah.
Mike says that he kind of feels that way right now about Anna Kendrick, and that I have a harder time disagreeing with because
That
I
I
have,
agree with more, definitely.
Oh, can I just say real quick about Birds of Prey? I think they should have done marketing similar to like Deadpool, making
I
more
agree.
I
viral
agree.
type of marketing. Because
Yeah.
like she has that, you got to sell her as Harley Quinn, and that's gonna put your ass in a seat. Because I'm sold on Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. It's ridiculous.
I just do not disagree with any of what you just said.
I mean, easier said than done in terms of
We're
viral
terrible.
marketing,
Please
but-
come. And here's more foreshadowing.
Girl number, yeah.
The rocket.
Rocket!
5-pointer.
Yeah, and again, what a great transition.
Yeah.
Yes, I did totally come.
Clip it.
Frank, this is
Okay,
a
Frank.
family
You
show.
Canadians would understand.
It's all part of the in-joke.
Hey.
Her haircut is wonderful.
Oh God.
He plays this so great.
Chris apparently wants us to know that his internet crashed out. But
Oh no, Chris.
Aw.
I'm hoping
Chris,
he
we're
will
here
be
for you.
back very soon.
But he did watch the sex scene. Is that what he said?
Yes, yes.
That's what he said?
Yes,
Okay.
what
Well,
Chris-
good. And you have a pleasant Friday night, Chris.
So I think I found how I'm going to be able to actually talk in this movie. I'm just going to keep rolling off trivia facts when they come up.
That's much better because
That helps.
we like that, and we also like the positivity around these parts.
Hey, I want to hear some criticism. What's wrong with this movie?
Why would you say that to him?
Because I'm a, fair, unbiased, presence on these shows.
This is a test.
Like I said, I don't hate this movie. I'm really enjoying it. Like I think it is actually.
These are the boys.
Yeah, it's.
Yes.
It's so good.
And Alice and Bill, they have a girl drummer. Again, so good.
Thank you.
Mike K says, so Jacob is the Lucas of this watch along.
Oh, that's a bit mean.
Well, you earned it.
I mean, I'm a little bit biased, but I don't think he's been that bad so far.
Chris said, I almost thought that was Hayden Christensen that Wallace was talking to. I could see that. And I
love this.
I don't want to say this, but apparently John Malloy says, Patrick, you are amazing. Don't apologize.
Apologize right now.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
So
Thank you, John
the
Malloy.
soundtrack
So-
though, I downloaded this soundtrack and it's one of the few like movie soundtracks that I can listen straight through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you guys, but I really love all the music from this.
I do too. I have quite a few of the songs alone on different playlists and stuff because it's just still so good.
Hold on, we need to play now and loud.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, PJ.
I was gonna say Beck did the music, and
Mhm.
I think it's really, really great. And of course, like Black Sheep is fantastic later in the movie, and we'll get to that. Knives as their like one super fan is just so good. Yes.
Now, you asked earlier if Sex Bomb would be in the top bands. I wouldn't say they're a great band.
True.
But they are entertaining.
Yeah.
I
They
think
do
as
win
far
by
as
disqualification.
I think as far as creating a fictional band and judging it
top
based on
notch.
how it fits into the universe, it's
Oh.
definitely one of the best.
Perfect.
I mean, I still think that if I think about like fake bands, Spinal Tap is probably still the number one fake band.
Stillwater.
The Bill and Ted one.
Yeah. Yeah, Wild Stallions is up there as well for me for sure. I don't know, man. There's quite a few.
You've almost famous.
Yeah, Almost Famous.
Stillwater.
That Thing You
Yeah.
Do.
I think yeah.
So coming up, there's a bit of a trivia.
Ooh, here we go.
I'm just waiting for him to crash in. So
I love this.
we're,
They're trying so hard to make sure that she doesn't lose her boyfriend.
Well, the problem is the movie is so
Again.
fast and so kinetic that it's like if you talk, you miss like 4 other things that
Yeah,
you
pop
do.
up.
Here we go, man.
so
The behind the scenes of this movie and how they did the effects is so interesting.
Yeah.
So Edgar Wright had a rule when he was casting, because this was his first American film. He said no English actors at all. So
I heard about
Satya
this.
Fight!
pretended to not have it. He pretended to have an American accent so he could get this role because he is British.
That's
Who did? Who was that?
The first Evil X.
Ah,
Matthew Patel.
he's good.
What
Yeah.
he does with his shoulders.
Yeah.
It kills me every time.
It's that one guy.
Pirates are in this year.
Right.
I will say the effects in this movie have held the hell up.
Oh, yeah.
Like
They
this
still look
movie's
so
10
good.
years old,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it looks like it came out like last year.
Big part of that is because they really lean in on it being video gamey and kind of comic booky. So
this right, like the verses.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, because that's old school video game stuff, you know?
Right, 100%.
So when they were making this, Edgar Wright basically.
Real quick, Stephanie wants us to know that they're no mouse rat, but they're great.
Holy shit,
I
that
mean,
is so good.
That mouse rat is hell yeah.
So when they were making the movie, basically, Edgar Wright tried to get everyone's mindset in and saying it's a musical. But instead of singing, they fight. They just break out into a fight.
Right.
And that was the mindset they were trying to get everyone into.
And it works 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because the flow is fantastic.
Hendrick's face just now, by the way, when this is happening, is amazing.
Oh, God, yeah.
So, as someone who had no idea what they were getting into with this whole world, like this fight, I was just like, what is going? Like, you cannot possibly imagine. Like, I don't know if you guys remember what you're. I mean, at least for me, when I'm watching this, I'm like, what is actually happening in this world? What are the laws?
Not have to go,
what are the
they did
rules?
not have to go this hard with this.
And I think that
they had to.
I think that may have been my problem the first time I watched it, was getting into the mindset of, wait, what is this film? Like, what's,
is he a pirate?
Pirates are in right now.
Die.
But yeah, I think that was my problem the first time I saw it, was trying to get into the mindset of what's real, what's reality. Like, trying to understand the world, the laws and reality of the world, but they're really isn't
and
one.
that's why this movie is so great on subsequent views, because you already know what you're in for, and it's just so much fun.
But it is also understanding why people can't get into it. My mom hates this movie just because it is like,
let's just talk about
like stimulus overload.
How cool it was that they used these kind of comic book panels, and it's the art from the comics and everything to make this happen. It's amazing.
Another bit of trivia: when Scott, it was the scene at the party, and he holds up the and she kind of looks like this. Edgar Wright wanted to use her from the comic, but then it's the one where he's where it's just the scribble, right? And then he thought that was funnier instead of the actual just scene of.
I love this so much.
Anna Kendrick's, all of us like, what?
John Malloy said the effects are just not being updated as much these days. No one dives in this much to the video game effects, and it looks great because no one has improved it. And I do not disagree with that.
Yeah, I agree there.
Michael K says, I need Wright to direct a traditional movie musical soon, which Gigawatt then said, Dear Evan Hansen by Edgar Wright.
Oh.
Nah.
You know what? I would buy into that.
Yeah. Manish says he actually doesn't love the Matthew Patel part as a South Asian. He finds it a bit cringy, and I could see that. I mean, I can get behind that.
I'll defer.
Yeah, I can't argue that point because I am a not South Asian person, so I will not take that away from anyone.
Now, is this what's this character like in the source material then?
Yeah, I was going to
pretty much exactly the same.
Really? Okay.
Like I said, I mean, for a good portion of this is like lockstep with the comic for the most part until it's not.
Sweet.
You'll see some toonies in there, some loonies. They're all Canadian coins. A toonie has a silver outside, gold center.
Wallace again?
The again bit is what gets me.
Yeah, the again bit's great.
Well, and then the little heart that goes around it is even more perfect. And she's knocked out the whole time, which is hilarious to me.
The behind the scenes are also really funny because you see like 7 different stunt doubles for Michael Cera that all have like the same hairstyle.
Right.
So it's like 8 different people with like a mop hair. So if you ever want like a good afternoon.
Mop hair. Got it.
Defeat your 7 evil exes. We're dating?
He's a jerk.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
Cool.
God, he's
Like,
just,
where's this music come from?
the Seinfeld of it all is.
Oh,
I do love this. The sitcom moment is so perfect. Gigawatt says, I wonder if people would take dating more seriously if they all ended up in a boss battle. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I wonder if that's a very good question.
Jesus.
That feels like such a dig at Friends a little bit, because Friends is like notorious for being a little bit
Homophobic.
Yeah, homophobic now.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Double standard.
Tell you what, though, I could go for some bacon right now.
I could too. Who wants to make some
I could
bacon?
go. I could go for some real bacon, but the Australian crap that you guys have.
listen, I'm from Canada. I can't really like comment on bacon in terms of a country.
Oh God,
So
yes.
Lucas
all those fake movie posters are so good.
They are. And Lucas Lee is clearly based off Jason Lee, right? Because he was a skateboarder who became an actor, just not an action star.
I just love that. Like, yeah, is he,
So good.
It's me pulling the trigger.
Oh my
I
god!
love
I need
Chris
like
Evans so much in this movie.
I need a movie, an actual movie of that character, like a whole feature film.
Chris Adams says Canadian bacon is great. It's just ham, but it's
True.
great.
It's a particular kind of ham, but it's good.
Gigawatt says, "Hey, it's that actor from Not Another Teen Movie. He's pretty good."
He's that actor from The Perfect Score.
Also true with Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Also, can I have that cardboard cutout, please? I need it.
Dude, Brie Larson is beautiful in this movie, by the way.
God, he's a dick.
Yeah, he is. So there's a thing that's not in the movie that's in the comic, and there's a whole storyline where Scott's being hunted down by someone, and it turns out it's Knives' dad, and he's like a ninja warrior type guy. And I think that it was probably like a step too far for the movie.
That wouldn't fly.
Yeah,
That wouldn't
well,
fly at all.
not just that. I mean, he's already dealing with the exes, so to have someone kind of like stalking him throughout might have been weird too.
They kind of do, and they kind of have that, but it's one of the exes. Because she turns up 3 times before actually fighting him.
Right. So it's just kind of funny that when her talking about her parents, I'm reminded the comic actually had a lot more with that kind of stuff. So it would have been curious to see if you did like a mini series of this now, you might be able to do it. But
yeah. But this movie just already has so much going on in it. That...
Right. In a 2-hour movie, I don't think you could pull it off even a little bit. Oh, she looks so sad, and it makes me sad.
I know.
I feel for her, man. I do. John Malloy, this movie needed ninjas. Does it not have enough action for you, John? Bite K, I would love to see an animated miniseries. I do not disagree with that at all. Diego says Chris Evans should do more big action movies like this. He'd kill it. Bring back asshole Chris Evans. I don't disagree with that. I actually think he'd be a good John McClane if you were able to do a new Die Hard. But also, Cellular is excellent, and I think that he does not get enough love for that.
Cellular is great.
Yes. Manish says, I don't relate to this movie with video games, but I love the romance part. And I can see that completely because it's still definitely very romantic. It's like a really good rom-com. Manish actually does a really great rom-com podcast that you guys should check out. And I actually did a commentary with him for Hitch, and that should be coming out very, very soon.
Oh, dude, the pink hair is great, but like the blue.
The blue. Oh my God, my heart.
It's classic, yeah.
Like, Scott's freaked out about it, and I'm like, look how beautiful she is.
And I'm like,
God, yeah.
yay.
Yeah, I mean...
Her hair is probably what inspired me to dye my hair like every 2 weeks. When I was like just out of high school, my hair was a different color. Like it was red and then purple, and like I think I was trying to live that kind of life.
That's fair. Manish, of course, thank you. Thanks for the shout out. No, don't thank me. You had me on. You should put the link in here and then give me the link and I'll put it in the description later. But put it in the comments and then everyone can go subscribe. Please, please support Manish.
His apron just says cook. I like that.
Yeah. Diego says, I think we can all agree that Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yes.
That's the comment, and I agree.
Again, everyone except Scott is like a rational human being.
Not wrong.
And just like
you can actually believe that that's how humans would act at some point. Yeah.
Like Wallace is, going, she changed her hair. Who gives a fuck? Whereas who cares? Scott is so annoying in this movie.
Mike.
It only works because the rest of the characters around him are likable.
Oh, the script makes him
Here's a classic
unlikable on purpose.
Oh,
yeah. No way. Why did it get fat? Bread makes you
Bread makes you fat?
Great.
Me watching this movie like 10 years ago going, well, bread is my diet. So, I mean, still me now watching it going, bread is my diet. So
John Malloy says this movie makes us realize we're all going to miss getting haircuts in a month when they're
in a
all
month. I'm going to miss it in like a week and a half.
I've already started.
I'm missing it now.
Jacob's hair's already too long. So.
I don't get my haircut.
I'm really thinking about just letting my hair grow out
Canadian,
long like I
Pat.
was in high school. So we'll see what happens. Finished?
Can't believe this son of a bitch got to make out with Mary Elizabeth.
I was just going to say,
God,
I'm having a little bit of a hard time with this.
She is a talented actress.
Well, that's for sure.
Well, you know what? But you know what is crazy? We were saying before, like how insane the cast is. There is
Bill Hader, by the way. Bill Hader is the narrator.
Oh, yeah. There's one Oscar nominee and one winner in the entire cast. Which is pretty crazy.
Gigawatt wants us to know Knives Chow gets her aggravation out on Glow. And I did not know she was in Glow because I had not seen Glow.
I have not seen
I haven't either.
I really need to, and now this makes me want to even more. I understand, Scott. We've all been there.
Oh, the hat.
He's like me right now. That's why I'm wearing my beanie, because my hair is just like ridiculously long right now.
Just hats are cool.
Hats are cool. Look at you over there. Are you trying to like mimic what Scott does throughout the movie?
Yeah, because if you did show us a Mary Elizabeth Winstead lookalike, that'd be great.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Chris, I agree.
Okay.
I like that. Chris
Okay.
says that he likes that they use top art from the comics. I do agree with that as well. Again, it plays into the comic book nature of it all.
Oh, guys. Here comes.
I think I might just let Taylor be by herself in this moment.
I mean, you might as well leave all of us alone because this
No.
is amazing.
Hold on. We all need to pay respects to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Just in general.
Oh god.
The editing.
It's adopted babies.
And then I love how like mundane this shot is of just him skateboarding.
And the way he gets off. It's
I
just
know.
boom.
Action.
Stephanie wants to say, so hot. Not a bad line. But he's Manish said, what a man.
Hell yeah.
John Malloy says, the eyebrows.
True.
Hey. How's life? He seems nice.
He seems nice. He throws it. Poor Scott.
But like, this is the stuff where I get when people go, I can't get into the movie.
It's a tough sell sometimes. But it is so fascinating that he can do this, Edgar Wright can do this, but also do Baby Driver, which is like grounded, intense action. Like it's over the top, but it's like tactile. Like it's cars racing. Whereas this is absurdist. I can't believe this joke works as well as it does.
I know.
It's so good. He's just good.
And I love how they all have the same voice.
I let him do the wide shots is phenomenal.
All these.
Chris Evans is so good.
He's so good.
He is, dude.
I could watch him do anything and be okay.
He's the sole reason I want to see that Defending Jacob show on Apple.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to that show.
It looks pretty good. The trailer really got me.
I love the way the music ramps up in this, by the way. It's just so perfectly kind of video gamey in the way that it goes. And again, the editing is fantastic for all of it.
Well, and it's also, you'll notice that the styrofoam skateboards they use to break, in a lot of Marvel movies, any prop, anything that's broken, environment or like prop-wise, is always digital.
Right.
These are digital, but the first couple were like practical. And like that just kind of adds to, oh, this is a tactile thing going on, so it just feels more real.
Yeah, you see the the real ones, and then you buy into the other ones being almost as real. Yeah.
Also, I like that when his stunt team talks, it's still Chris Evans.
It's all the same voice. Yeah. Actually,
Okay, is it just me, or does he sound like Ben Stiller in Dodgeball?
Little bit.
1000%.
Yeah, sure.
He's
Nobody
using
makes
that
me
kind of
believe my own
voice.
Yeah.
You're
Nobody-
needing
yeah,
it back
like
on
that.
set.
Oh.
But it's funny that he is defeated because he's too arrogant. Like, I don't think you can do this. And like,
It's a good lesson.
Yeah.
yeah, and like Scott beats him the way that he needs to be beaten, which is, showboating.
I love this. Oh, it's so good. What a cool sequence.
The sound effects are just so good.
Everything.
Chris Adams says one of the stuntmen looked like Will Friedle, and I don't disagree. There is definitely one that looked a little bit like Will Friedle, Boy Meets World fame.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
This next part is what you pay Chris Evans all the money in the world to be in your movie.
Yeah.
This little laugh. Oh, he's so good.
Essay.
So, like,
he
is young there. Like, you can see that this was 10 years ago.
Totally.
Like, he has actually aged a little
But
bit.
you can
fine.
No, I'm not saying badly,
He
but
is
like
beautiful,
he's
beautiful man.
younger there.
Are you
It's just-
insulting Chris Evans right
no,
now?
but
No,
even
I'm
at
not.
that age, you can see him get this script and be like, "Oh hell yeah, I'll do
yeah.
Yeah, this seems
Oh, yeah.
incredible."
Well, I love Chris Evans just because I think that he takes a lot of chances. I've said it before. I think he's going to try to do a lot more directing now on the back half of his career, which I'm very curious about too.
Have you
Well, it's
guys
just-
seen the movie he directed? What's it called?
Gifted.
Before we go,
No, it
No,
didn't
not
do
Gifted. The
yeah,
one
Before
with
We Go.
Alice. Before we
Before
go.
We
I
Go.
love that movie.
I
I
do
think it's
too.
so
PJ,
good.
I heard you.
Taylor, thank you. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who loves that movie.
No, I love
I
that
haven't seen
movie.
it.
It's very good. It's a really sweet romantic type film set in New York. Like, it's very simplistic. It's a little bit before midnight, before sunset type thing.
Yeah, it is a very simplistic movie, but I enjoy it a lot.
Can
Hogue.
I just say something I do find hilarious, that this is an American movie and it has kilometers per
I
hour.
was going to say, I wanted Hogue or you, Jacob, to translate in miles per hour.
Yeah, no, it ain't gonna work. What? I don't freaking know what the miles per hour.
Kilometers per hour are pain in the
Kilometers.
butt, dude.
Kelly says,
Like,
I don't know.
They make sense.
They don't make any sense. When you're driving, you're like, well, this sucks.
You think you're about to like speed into like a wall because it says
Yeah.
like the speed limit is 100, and you're like, "This isn't normal. I'm gonna
Yeah,
die."
it's really bad. It's honestly really bad.
Kelly says, "I don't know. Has he aged? Not convinced." I don't disagree with Kelly. I think
It's
Jake.
fair. It's very fair.
I
can relate.
Yeah,
I think he's aged like not as dramatically as The Rock has.
We're talking to the chat right now. We're talking to the chat. John Malloy says Gifted was amazing, as does Mike K. So
I mean, Gifted was really, really good.
Yeah, and then Gigawatt.
She has a hell of a career ahead of her.
Gigawatt says it always looks faster when you use use the metric system. And John Malloy would like us to know it was 213, Frank. 213.
Damn.
So, the chat. The way he says that and almost like rolls his eyes in the moment is perfect.
I almost forgot that Brandon Routh is also in this movie, and we're about to.
Dude. I'm so freaking excited.
I need you to move out. Oh my god. Oh shit. This is such a great
I love the voice that she uses as
Me
MV.
too. Me too.
I like the realization of the roommate going, "Oh shit, no, that's not who."
Yeah. Well, you know what? She kind of reminds me of like a 30s dame, or like like a noir film. I like that a lot.
But real quick on what Wallace says though, when he goes, "Oh shit," I like how that just informs you of like, okay, this is actually serious for Scott. Like even Wallace is like, "Oh shit," the straight guy, not the straight guy.
He knows what this means.
In the background behind Scott, it had like the photo booth pictures of her, and every single one she's getting further and further away from him as he's getting sadder and sadder, and you're like, just little details like that are just so impressive that somebody can plan that out ahead of time.
Edgar Wright is so freaking meticulous.
Is he?
I don't know if you noticed.
This is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Not here.
This is my favorite scene in the entire movie.
Nice face, dude.
That is my favorite sequence in the whole movie.
And here it is. X. Oh man, it's just so good. John Malloy says she can act with her eyes, but she is my future dream ex-wife, and he's talking about Brie. Gigawatt says Baby Driver is uber meticulous. I agree as well.
Is this Mae Whitman?
Indeed, it is.
I've met her. She is
I
very
can
nice.
understand her fury of being punched in the boob. That does not feel good.
The whole movie is essentially an allegory for Scott having to overcome her baggage. Is probably my favorite thing about it, and I totally agree. I think it's brilliant storytelling.
Yeah.
Mark Lawrence Closa. Oh my God, what's going on, dude? It's good to see you. Welcome to the chat. I'm glad you're in the video. Did you guys ever watch Parenthood? Because she was excellent on Parenthood. Very, very good. I'm literally about to leave.
I had the phone right outside.
Oh, it's just so perfect. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Oh, man. The editing over Aubrey Plaza swearing is just so perfect.
So it's funny. The reason they had to do that is because, obviously, so they could keep the PG-13, but because earlier in the film they'd say "cucky cock" or something, and that was their swear word that they were allowed.
Kelly is in the chat. Said that it is Mae Whitman and she loved her on Parenthood, and I agree. Thank you for being the one person on here who watched it outside of me. The Envy poster being in the back like that.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I just miss snow, guys. I want it to be cold and
Oh, you should.
frigid. Is it cold in Arizona?
Absolutely not.
Oh. PJ, you get my hopes up like that and just smash them to the ground, which is what I'm here for.
Mike K says, "Has anyone?"
I love
seen
that shot so much.
It's criminally underrated, and Mae Whitman is great in it. I did see the Duff. I thought she was fantastic in it.
Actually, that movie is really great.
It really is. It's actually one of the best high school movies of the last decade.
I'll agree with you there.
It
got a really bad rap though, for some reason.
One of those things, man.
She's so good in this. That voice is so like almost Marilyn
It doesn't
Monroe.
even sound like her.
Like
It's
I
very
right.
haughty, like old
That's what I was
Hollywood.
mentioning earlier,
Yeah.
where she just puts on this voice.
It like I said, it reminds me of like the 30s noir dames, like that.
Yeah.
It's very that's what it reminds me of the most. The Infinite Sadness. That was one of the comic titles.
We all just went silent, just like dramatically like invested in this movie.
You know, it's hard not to be dramatically invested at any time in this movie. Mike says, Hogue, don't say that. I want winter to be over.
Wait, Mike, are you in a very cold vacation?
That they're both there now is perfect. John Malloy, could she be a character in a Sin City sequel? I mean, yes, I think she could, but I don't think we're going to get a sequel. I think we're getting that TV show that Robert Rodriguez is currently developing, so maybe she'll pop up in that.
The way somebody introducing themselves with "I have distressing news" is the most unsettling way you can start a scene.
It sounds very Canadian.
Yes, it's very like a
The
polite way
band
to
for the
say we're
band.
fudged.
For the band?
Not swearing.
Mike K says, I'm in New York. We don't have 4 seasons. We have winter and hell.
Oh,
Sir,
don't worry, Mike. My family's in New York.
I mean, I feel like Arizona's similar, where it's just summer and hell. So it's just the opposite.
I agree, and I would take New York over that anytime.
But in New York, it's humid. It's like you're living in clam chowder.
Dude,
Like,
that's freaking how Australia is. It's humid as hell over here.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious.
That's why no one lives in Australia except Jacob.
Well,
All right, let's not go insulting the continent of Australia.
Oh, I'll do it.
Jacob, it's fine. You're from there. I can insult Canada. Nobody else can.
I feel like I get a pass.
I
because
insult
live
Canada
here.
all the time, Hogue.
Frank, it's
When I
because
insult you, it's insulting the entire country.
Frank, it's because you're going to die in 6 days and
I
70
love that line. I didn't even know there was good music
That's
until
probable.
2 months ago.
Yeah. Well, I love her whole sequence here while she's freaking out, and like her falling backwards on the bed is so perfect and very like high school dramatic.
So good.
So good.
This movie is so many genres because this is like the high school teen romance.
There's so
comedy.
much going on here, and it just fucking kills me.
Young Neil.
Young
Neil
Neil,
MVP.
that's so good.
Oh,
That's the only
If
text
I
I
ever
would
get
need
if I ever
in
get
high
like a
school.
pet, like a rabbit or something like that, I'm gonna name it Young Neil.
That way you can call it Neil later in life.
Yeah, exactly. Young Neil.
You're now just Neil.
Frank, I don't know who to report you to.
And maybe it's the old,
Some sort of like old organization that comes in, like stops new cults from forming. Of like, oh, he's doing
I
what
want
now?
that
Okay,
shirt.
now that's a religion.
That
That's
shirt
why.
is like cowboy chic.
Well,
with-
she knows
Oh,
we
right.
suck.
and I need it.
She did better washing her hands than Scott did.
I know.
Which just
We're
goes
slowly
which,
getting
which
better.
again just goes to prove that Scott is an
She's
asshole.
so short,
Dude, knife is scary right there.
and she has a backpack.
I know.
You wouldn't be allowed that in a club.
It's Canada. They allow a lot of things.
That's fair.
Hey, we're cool.
The way she says that, hey, Scott. I gotta pee.
Edgar Wright was on Twitter the other day. Some people when some people were watching it, and that's a practical wheel. Like, they actually made that wheel practically. It's not an effect. Like, that's a real wheel that they have.
That's amazing. So this whole sequence is just
those shoes.
This song is also great.
Yeah,
I love this song. I
do
do
too.
love this
God.
song.
Also, look at the glasses in the background of the drummer.
Hell yeah. There he is, the champion.
I know. Oh yeah. Frank, John Malloy wants to know why you would get a rabbit.
Because they're easy to maintain. I don't know why. Why did I say a
Oh,
rabbit?
she's just so good right here, you guys.
I actually really like this song a lot.
I know. I love it. This is my favorite song from the movie.
I think it's the good song in the movie.
Yeah, I think it's great.
And look at Brandon Roth. He actually does the emo hair thing really, really well.
He's so good. Ugh.
It's not his best look.
Can we just shout out the fact that he finally got to be Superman again, even if
I
it was
know!
on the CW? Like, thank God we finally got the Superman sequel we deserved.
I know. I'm still so sad we never actually got that.
I know. I'm one of the biggest defenders of Superman Returns that you're ever going to
I am too. I really am too, and everyone gives me so much crap.
Is anyone else bummed the song's over? Because I am.
Yeah, I'm actually really sad.
Can I also just say that
you should see them live. They're better live as they just
that with the Superman thing that they did the Injustice thing for Brendan Routh and showed that Superman wouldn't be affected by Injustice, that he would actually still stay Superman, which is just the best.
Chris Adams says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Superman." Mike K says, "This is Brie Larson returning to her pop star roots."
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Gigawatt says this is his favorite Evil X scene, and I do not disagree with that. Rob,
and I like he's wearing 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though he's technically 4. But
and then John Malloy. So early 2010 music that would have been on Rock Band. That's just rude, John. That's just rude. The scoff.
Ooh, good insult.
I'm talking to Ramona right now. Oh man.
Hold on. We have to appreciate the delivery of this next line.
Oh yeah.
Not Rockstar, but
that is really good though, because it's
Hold on. Ready? He punched the highlights out of her hair.
He's so sold it. It's great.
Oh man.
It's beautiful. This is filmmaking.
No, really, it is. It's 100%
Toronto.
the best type of filmmaking.
that's the line.
You cocky
that
cock.
they had. That's the
so
reason
good.
the rest of it had to be bleeped.
Can we just talk about how great this shot is, by the way? Just look at it.
Yes. Oh my god.
God. It's so good. And it has a horror movie feel, which I really, really like.
Todd's vegan.
Vegan thing. It fucking kills me, man.
I know. The vegan thing is the best. This is why we should all go vegan, so we can have superpowers.
I keep forgetting Thomas Jane's in this movie.
Spoilers, Pat Hogue.
Sorry for the audience. I didn't mean
The best
to ruin
part, jumping ahead, vegan be vegan is.
Oh yeah, another great line delivery that we're gonna get to. This whole sequence,
Nice.
I feel like this, in a lot of ways, is the best part of the movie because it just sums up everything the movie could be in one thing.
Yeah.
The explanation.
But how he treats it of oh, that's a legitimate question. Let me explain this. This is a problem in society that they don't understand why veganism does this to people.
Guys, Brandon Roth does deserve better.
He does. I've been saying this for so long.
So does Henry Cavill, okay? Man of Steel 2. Needs to happen.
Yeah.
I also agree with
I don't
that.
disagree with that. I think that both of them, maybe Cavill will get his in 10 years now, and it'll be great.
Henry Cavill's got his 5 seasons of The Witcher.
I just don't want to see another recast version of Superman right now. Like, I don't want that in my life.
Well, unless it's Michael B. Jordan.
I mean, we've talked about it. We want to do Shazam as one of the watch-alongs. Shazam rightfully doesn't show who is playing Superman.
Yeah. To
kind of leave that up to the imagination on the off chance that they can get Cavill back, which I think a lot of us are hoping. So we'll see.
I really hope so. Yeah. Well.
Mike K says he's going to miss Brandon Roth on Legends of Tomorrow. I have fallen off the show, but I loved him on it. I thought he was really, really great as the Atom. I really need to get back on the show because I love Constantine, and Matt Ryan is so perfect.
I and he.
He and me.
Gigawatt says, anything Zachary Levi. Trust me, there's some other Zachary Levi stuff we're hoping to do as well. The Vegan Academy, yes.
She cleans up dust.
She dusts.
Him explaining the joke is just
so good.
It also proves just how dumb it really is, which I like a lot. There's just something to be said about that. Stephanie, Tangled. I am hoping Tangled is going to be one of the animated films we end up doing.
Tangled is my favorite thing ever in the whole world.
Manish also says Tangled, so apparently people are onto us that we would like to do Tangled as one of our animated watch-alongs.
Hey, and at last I've seen the light, and that's if the fog is lifted.
That would be me. I'm just gonna go get a slice. You fix your shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pizza guy. I like to get high.
Base battle.
Lens flare.
John Malloy, Tangled was great, but my ex liked it, and now I must hate it. So fuck it. I understand.
Valid.
Yeah, that's valid. I understand.
I think we all have movies like that.
Yeah, we do. We do.
I know. I think my other. I think one that for me is 51st Dates. I have to.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Mine currently is Fighting with My Family, and it breaks my heart.
Which is a travesty. That hurts me.
But the other one that I refuse to give into is Just Friends. Like, I can't.
Oh,
like,
dude, that movie's the best.
Yeah, so I had to
Ryan
choose.
Reynolds. Yeah, I get it, man. Manish says that Rapunzel was social distancing queen.
That's true.
This whole base battle is just so rad. And
I do like the battling between the vibes from the sound waves and all that stuff. It's really cool.
Again, right, dude. It just really.
It's very creative and like you get it.
Every decision in this movie is overly creative in the coolest ways. That's a great shot too.
Yeah, it
is. Bless you. Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
like almost Super Saiyan, dude.
Oh man,
just come out of nowhere.
I know.
It's like,
but it's like the one moment where it actually feels like Scott actually outsmarts someone, which I like a lot.
Man's eye or whatever. Half and half. You just drank half and half, baby.
Vegan police.
Vegan police.
I love that they don't have guns.
So Thomas Jane and Clifton Collins Jr., both two great character actors. Of course, Thomas Jane was the Punisher. It was a damn shame we didn't get more Punisher with him. And then Clifton Collins Jr. is in Pacific Rim, which, of course, I'm a huge fan of. But he's also in the Boondock Saints sequel, and I really like him in that movie.
It's milk and eggs, bitch.
Chicken isn't vegan? Oh, man. The best part about this, though, is what happens coming up right here. No. Watching them as they leave. The hair goes down, which is great, but now you
will be gone.
The headbutt of all headbutts.
I know.
3,000 points. That's Schmodown.
But this right here, them turning and
Yeah.
the high five.
Yeah, I love this
The high
part.
five moment is just yeah.
Well, and the car is just a British police car.
I know.
That's all it is.
Stephanie, milk and eggs, bitch.
Milk and eggs, bitch, is so fucking good.
Gigawatt says, I used to jump and high five my son like that all the time. I think that is the best. Stephanie, the high five is the best. Yes.
I just murdered your boyfriend. You broke my heart. I guess we're even.
Right. It's good.
Chris sums it up perfectly. Ha 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 ha.
This is the last chance I'll get to say it. I've worked with Brie Larson. She is very nice.
She's from my hometown. We grew up in the same place.
In the sack?
Yes, sir. Okay. So just the slipping out of the way. Oh my god, that pizza looks so good, you guys.
Do you miss pizza? Like real pizza?
I'm missing real pizza real bad right now.
Dude, I'm from Chicago. I'm in California. You guys don't have good pizza at all.
Well,
No, gosh, no. No,
sure.
please, Frank.
You guys
It's horrible.
have a great pizza place, but I'm not going to say where you're at, but it's farther away from you, which sucks. And you know exactly what pizza place I'm talking about. That's
Yeah, really. I have to go through great lengths. I did find two places actually. It's Mexican food though, so that helps. But nothing. I actually ordered something off of Taste of Chicago. I'm gonna have it delivered to me.
Oh wow, dude!
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not a great compliment.
No.
You're the nicest guy I've dated. Well,
Look, where I'm at is it's not ideal for in terms of food selections like that.
John says we don't have pizza at all. We just get drunk and deal with what we are eating.
Yeah.
Dude, there's actually a pretty good New York pizza place here in Tucson that I was very surprised about, and Tim Franco took me there.
Okay. You
oh,
know what's interesting is years ago, they're not there anymore, but this pizza place that I worked at when I was in high school in Chicago, they opened up a place in Tucson. It's called Vito Nick's. I don't think it's there anymore at all.
I would go.
But they moved out there and to open up a place because there's a lot of transplants from Chicago,
Right.
Midwest generally. They go to Arizona, so they try to kind of replicate it out there. But it just for whatever reason, temperature, atmosphere, all that stuff, ingredients, they just couldn't get it right.
Yeah, man, that happens out here, unfortunately, because there was, I guess, a place that opened in Tucson that was like a New York eatery that opened last year that closed within like 3 months. It just didn't take off, which is a bummer because I could go for a black and white cookie right now. It is killing me that I can't find like a
Those
New
are
York
great cookies.
Yes, they are. I used to order them to the apartment. Remember?
damn, that's so
Yeah, I
cool.
probably stole off of you.
Yeah, you did. May Whitman, man.
The girl from earlier?
Does she know me?
So good.
Hey, she's really cute too, and I don't think people talk about that enough. She is very, very cute.
Relax. But yes.
I just said,
That was also a practical effect. by the
PJ,
way.
it's 2020. That's actually what May Whitman's brain looks like. Wait, no, sorry. That's Michael Cera's brain.
Yeah,
My
that's
bad.
yeah.
My bad. Also,
Alright, this is
by
when it gets
Furious.
This is when it gets hot.
Frank, you just fixed
Yeah.
PJ.
Ah,
I know.
You can't take his place. That's not the goal.
Has been.
Has-been is
Wait,
so
wait.
good.
Kelly Nicole, did you just say what is a black and white cookie? My heart hurts, and I will text you later because
What is a black and white cookie?
Just
nobody cares. You're Australian.
Hold on, look at the hammer.
I know, dude.
I know.
dude, it's so good.
Oh, we call
This
it
gosh.
Gosh. In New York.
Truly is
This is one of my favorite fights of the movie.
astounding.
Stephanie,
Yes.
time to fight his girlfriend from Arrested Development. That is exactly what is happening right now. Also, in this sequence in the comic is kind of hard because in the comic, Scott is actually hiding inside of her purse while it's happening and watching.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Again,
All right, I'm turning this one up. I'm gonna on my end, so because this fight is fucking great.
just
Knives didn't move at
don't get us
all in the
kicked off
background.
the internet. That's all I'm saying.
It's like Mjolnir.
Manish says, I have vivid memories of putting the Bi Furious line as a Facebook status in 2010, and I'm not even bi. Chris Adams says, ha ha ha, kick her in the balls.
It's also one of the most well-directed movies because every line is going to feel ridiculous to every actor. Because you have to do it the most intense and do it like 8 times per actor, but it just comes off so naturally in this over-the-top world.
No, definitely.
The fact that this is working as well as it is.
The way this battle ends is unexpected.
Yes.
Also, it shouldn't work.
It
should
should
be the
not,
most
you're right.
uncomfortable, inappropriate thing, and it just fits.
Also,
into
the
what
way
movie's
it
doing.
sounds is hilarious.
The sound design in this movie is incredible, and it's amazing to me that...
Well, I'm speaking specifically to how she's perished.
Totally.
How she perished.
My mom made it this far and said, I'm out. Like, I can't. This is...
Ding!
Yeah. The look on her face.
A PG-13 movie, kids. That's what we
So
got.
good.
Well, you know what that reminds me of a little bit is the
What does it
Well,
remind you of?
OPAA was a little forgiving there.
What does it remind you of?
the Del Toro Hellboy movies, because they could use blood, so they used literally anything else to make the sequences look more violent. So having like gumballs and coin machines and stuff be the thing that they broke around the creatures, that was what it was used for. So that the blowing up reminds me of that.
Okay, that's appropriate. That's fine.
Yeah, I thought it would be.
God, he's such a dick.
It was just a weird moment to bring that up. PJ.
Jesus.
Well, like he's like, getting his ass kicked every every
Yeah,
day.
but he knows there's 7 of them, and he's like, oh, this whole party, you must have slept with all of them.
Mike K. How the hell did Wright pull this off? Because he's a madman. And
Although John Malloy says, if that's all I had to do, brother,
right there.
Guys, this is for kids. We did Frozen 2. Let's carry that same energy over to this one.
And we might be doing another kids movie on Monday, so we gotta.
We're all over the place.
We are. We're really all over the place. Wait until we do stuff like Tremors. It's gonna be fantastic.
You don't know.
Aw, Danny Ramirez said, came here for the likes. Have a good night, y'all. Thank you, Danny. We appreciate it. Yes, Danny, we are planning on doing Tremors. Tremors is one of my favorite.
Excuse me, PJ?
What?
Am I going to be a part of the Tremors one?
Of course you're going to be part of the Tremors one.
Okay, because
I've never seen one Tremors movie.
I'll be sitting that one.
Frank. It's one of my top 5 favorite movies.
Yeah, Tremors is excellent, and I'm really excited to like.
I even like the second one and the fourth.
Have you seen the 5th one? The one.
No,
it's really good.
Numbers keep increasing.
The 7th one comes out in October, so No, seriously,
give me Tremors. I'll make that a rebooted movie. That's great.
Sorry, Danielle, I haven't seen Tremors. What do you want me to tell you?
I'm listening, PJ.
You and I are going to watch Tremors 5 off camera together because you need to see it. It's legitimately.
Hey, Hogue has never seen Young Guns, so there we're even.
Well,
hold on, Frank.
Oh, you think I was going to bring that up? Yeah.
Gigawatts said they're called graboids. Yes, we know they're called graboids. We're literally just talking.
Gigawatt, that is a sore subject, so I'm going to need you to back off.
All right.
Also, Frank, I'm going to need you to leave.
Well, that's not going to happen.
No. Fine, I'll have to accept it.
Here we see.
Yes.
Gideon.
It's just weird that none of the stars immediately popped after this movie. For most of them, it took 3 or 4 years or 5 years to get any significance.
Where was
even
Anna
though this
Kendrick
movie
at?
didn't do well.
in terms of.
I mean, this movie was a box office bomb. Like,
it did not do well.
A massive box office bomb, but one that Universal stood behind, which I loved. They said that they would never have done it differently.
But it's also, they showed the trailer at Comic-Con the same year that they showed the Iron Man trailer.
I remember.
And both of the trailers played crazily well. And then Iron Man went to be a smash hit. And they were like, oh, Scott Pilgrim's going to do the same. And one of my biggest regrets is that this came out the same weekend as The Other Guys. And I went to see The Other Guys.
No, it came out the weekend after The Other Guys.
Okay, so I went to the movies the same weekend this came out, and I didn't see it, and I saw The Other Guys, and I added.
This movie opened up against The Expendables and
That's
right. Love.
That's right.
Which
I only know that because of my show.
Yeah, we need
because
to
it's
watch this
burned
in
to your
August.
In August. This
But
is
like,
on our
how
show
about
in
like
August.
2 movies that didn't get seen enough? The Other Guys and this one, like.
I know.
brutal.
Other Guys, funny
Other
movie.
Guys was a hit. Other Guys was a hit.
Moderately.
Yeah.
Whereas,
But
I mean,
doesn't
probably
get-
more legs than this one, sure.
it just is so satisfying that like finally Baby Driver is the hit that Edgar Wright deserves. It was a huge hit.
Jigawan says that this movie has battle scars, dude. Good joke. Good joke.
But it instantaneously became like a cult classic. Like everybody
yes,
knew
that is
like,
good. Very good.
this is the movie to champion for.
I love this,
These
by
kind
the
of
way.
movies.
This battle sequence is so cool. Massively different than what happens in the comics, but I still love it.
All right, it's official. I got to use the restroom, but I'll be back. And I cultivated this to take my place in the meantime.
That is oddly spot on of how you look.
Thank you, Frank. I knew you would compliment it.
You're welcome.
Manish is right. He said, I think this movie plays really well on rewatch, which is why I think it has a legacy and didn't disappear. I agree. And the cult following is very, very loud, like us, where we all decided we had to be on here to do it because we love it so much. Like, it's just very beloved. The people who needed to discover it discovered it at the right time. I love that this is basically a giant kaiju battle.
Right?
Like, very Godzilla and Kong-esque, and I just appreciate that so much.
It's Kong versus Ghidorah.
Diego wants us to say that this is an incredible replacement for Mr. Hogue.
It's not wrong.
And then Chris Adams says, haha, perfect Hogue. And Gigawatt says, photorealistic. Stephanie says, I feel
What's
like
the final number on these guys?
7,000.
Because they don't
it'd be
show
6,000. It'd be 6,000.
Yeah, everyone is 1,000.
Right?
Of the X, yeah. And the one up.
But because it was 2 guys, right? So
Yeah,
No,
so
but
5 and 6.
Yeah.
They miss 5. They miss 5 completely. They miss 5,000. Like 5,000's missed completely.
Yeah, it goes from 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Stephanie says, I feel like I see something new every time I watch this and it gets better on a repeat viewing. And I agree completely. That moment is actually really sad. Like,
It is really sad.
Again, he's just a dick.
yeah, but it's also just so beautifully
Still a dick.
and I love that. This is like the most real moment he has too.
yeah.
Which I really like. I mean, you start to see like he's actually a decent human being underneath the bullshit, but at the same time, he's just so damaged, and Wright nails it. There's such a perfect balance.
Her hair is green.
Yes,
Very,
Three.
very
That's 3. That's 3, right?
But that shows the time, which is, you know.
It is an interesting way to choose to show passage of time when she says she changes it like every 2 weeks, and you know how far it's been.
Look at his pants.
he feels like such a real music executive to me.
Yeah.
Like really just taking advantage of people in a moment in a situation. And
I've met a lot of producers that are exactly that, of just, oh, you are the archetype. Like, there is no like falsehood here. You really exist.
Yeah, that was clearly a very, very personal thing for Wright, I feel like.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, your original artistic thing? Why don't you just come into our fold and we'll make you a star, baby?
It's so funny to see him in a movie like this because we really only see him in very kitschy indie Wes Anderson type stuff, and yet he's so perfect all the same.
Yeah.
He kind of feels like a grown-up version of his Rushmore character, but even more dickish. I said lesbians. I love
the thonk. Ready? Thonk.
There's something just
thonk.
about, like, even for him being such a dick, you still feel for
thonk.
him. And I think that just goes to how far
thonk
push it. And I love that about this movie.
Thonk.
That it's not anymore.
Oh.
We're done with the thonk.
Sorry.
Stephanie says this is the Charlie Brown Scott moment, and I agree. That is very accurate. Do you not like Charlie Brown?
No, I do. I do like Charlie Brown.
It was the way you said that. It made it seem like you didn't.
All right, Jacob is not the enemy for every like. We appreciate it.
Okay, from memory, is Anna Kendrick the younger or older sibling?
Older, I'm pretty sure.
That's a good question, actually.
Jonathan says, quick fact check, the movie came out the same weekend as The Expendables. Yeah, we fixed Hogue's mistake on that. Thank you, Jonathan.
I was wrong, but then Jacob, listen, I'm the
Diego says Team Thonk.
Thank you, Diego. I've done my work here, and guys, I'll log off to the stream now because Team Thonk is going to rule. Bye.
Oh, Stephanie says she's younger. So there we go. That's the answer.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay.
And then Manish says, I feel like Anna Kendrick is younger but more mature.
Yep. It's like PJ, like what you were talking about of we sympathize with him, but it is also he's still kind of the childish,
right?
Really like falling into the crush, and it really does take him. The lesson he needs to learn is selflessness, and not, fighting for like a specific goal, because he tries to do that. We'll see what happens, but like he tries to do that and it fails. But then it is about be a better person internally.
Right.
And like that's the character arc that I think really it hammers home of. You got to be more of an adult than just fawning over a relationship, but totally. Being kind of surface level about it.
Does that happen very often in Canada, Hogue?
Spilling hot cocoa? Yeah. No. Why do you think I have this in 2 mugs? Also, I'm actually really disappointed. I was going to have a blanket over me, too, at the beginning, and I forgot. So
you're putting it on at the end instead.
Here it is now. Kick his ass.
John says he's the nice guy who falls into his bad guy vibe, but being a true good guy and adult makes you the hero of the story.
As somebody who's played a quote-unquote good guy, nobody should be that. Just saying that now.
Fair.
This part, I love.
It's just that shouldn't work in a movie. But every moment it does. And this is what I like too, is that
The first album is much better than the first album.
there's little moments like that are changed in the next sequence that are, again, just brilliant little things.
I never saw Molly's Game, and
It's
it made me
great.
more interested that Michael Cera was in it.
He's an utter asshole in it, and it works.
Yeah.
Yep. He is a combination of DiCaprio and
Tobey
Tobey
Maguire.
Maguire. Yeah. And Affleck as well.
It was a really good movie, though.
Mm.
See, but he's such a functioning technical actor. All of these lines he's meant to do, you can tell he's done 37 takes of each, and he had to hit it precisely.
Yeah.
So he's intelligent and really well coordinated, and then something like this is really well delivered.
Well, I actually think Sarah's played quite a few different characters in his career that I'm a big fan of. I think he's done a great job doing different things, and he shows what he can do.
And he's had the chance. He's been the psychopath as much as he's been the dorky dude. I'm just waiting for that next Scott Pilgrim role of Michael Cera is great at quote unquote this. The underdog in an action movie that no one expects to he could be the next John McClane in terms of that guy is gonna save the day. But I really think Michael Cera in a grounded somebody are taking over and they have to have the least likely guy to save the day. It seems like Michael Cera needs one of those to really showcase the next realm of his career.
Stephanie is on the Molly's Game hype train, calling it fantastic.
Ah.
John Malloy says, I know the real guy that Molly's Game portrayed.
Ooh.
And Gigawatt says, best movie of 2017.
I guess I need to watch this movie.
You definitely should.
Dang.
Mike K says Michael Cera in a Safdie Brothers movie, and I would
all
about that.
I could dig that.
I could dig that
That'd
a
be
lot.
interesting.
Uncut Gems was incredible. Stephanie
Gems is
says
fucking
found the ninjas. Dude, Uncut Gems gave me the craziest anxiety. I love that movie so much.
Still haven't seen it.
You got it.
Behind the times. I know. I love good time. Hey, Jason. Jason.
I just love that he is I love him in anything, but I just love seeing him being such a dick.
Have you seen Big Eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays an art critic in that.
Yeah,
He's fantastic.
That was Tim Burton's last great movie.
I kind of like Dumbo, but it's not.
Dumbo's not great, is what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Manish, I love the split screens in this movie. I do too. I think that it's very, very
Good call,
inventive,
yeah.
and it's done so well.
Her knives are so big.
Chris is also on the Safdie Brothers Sarah train, which good for Chris. I always knew he was smart.
That seems like a great fit. I also think you could put him in a thriller, 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman. I think you could do that with Michael Cera.
I wanted him in a Fincher film, to be honest.
In a what film?
A David Fincher film.
I just want David Fincher to go back to making films for theaters, but Netflix are giving him too much control.
Well, I mean, Scorsese too, bro.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wanted World War Z 2 under
I
David
did too.
Fincher. That
I wanted that so badly, but
Just-
I don't think it's happening.
no, at this point. I mean, Brad Pitt won his Oscar, and David Fincher is about to release his next feature. If any of them are going to get enough clout to do whatever they want after this, that might be the next thing. They're both you just want to have fun and try something.
So Jonathan says, do you think the criticisms of people not liking Michael Cera because of him playing the same character over and over again was the other reason this movie did not do well? No, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think that audiences just didn't gel with the idea of what the movie was personally. Because I think it's a very different character for him.
Well, and it's also, this is a movie that came out 6 years before Deadpool, and it's not the same movie, but it very much took the revolution of superhero movies to get us to accept a movie like Deadpool, where you can kind of understand the rules of what that format is before playing with them and throwing them out. This one jumped the...
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Sorry, no, you're right. I think if you do release this year or roughly now, it does a lot better.
Way better. It's I think this would be a breath of fresh air in terms of kind of big
100%.
Hollywood movies because of how individualistic it is. But I also do think it set the groundwork for a lot of the experimentation that they were able to do going forward. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is pulling a lot from this movie. I think what's another kind of... I think Deadpool is pulling a lot from this movie. This kind of had to fall on its own sword for other blockbusters to be kind of self-referential
Scott
and
Pilgrim
be successful.
walked so that everything else
Other movies can run. Yeah.
Stephanie says the choreography is great in the fight sequences. I agree with that. John Malloy says yes, completely. PJ, it may be a different character from a movie, but for a movie person, but it looked the same at the time. I don't agree. I mean, personally speaking, as someone who loved Arrested Development and loves Superbad and liked Nick and Nora quite a bit, like Scott Pilgrim, and maybe it was just because I knew the source, it's just a very different character. And I didn't think the movie really sold him as the same character.
But like,
no, I definitely
also,
even if you're just talking about a more accessible movie like Superbad and then comparing it with this, I view those as vastly different characters that he's playing.
Totally.
like the Scott Pilgrim property, prior to this movie,
Right. It's
like
yeah.
you know.
I think the movie was advertised of this guy has to battle other guys, and the second they saw Michael Cera, there was a little bit of
that guy.
He's not an action guy. Like, you have to sell me on that. And a lot of the movie's marketing was, but look how quirky we are. He's going to fit into this. And I don't think people were ready for that. Whereas nowadays, if you saw somebody like, I don't know, like Topher Grace leading, this guy's going to be like the action star. You're like, oh, I'm in a world where that's
how
normal.
I felt when like Topher Grace is going to be Venom.
Right.
Yeah. But I think like the lead, what's a kind of a quirky nerd character nowadays? Like who's a wimpy guy that we put into a lot of movies nowadays?
I don't see it as much. I don't feel like.
Yeah.
No, it's weird because we kind of accept it.
Well, we've also moved into different territory, I think, as far as
that's
audience.
I mean, that depends. It's very subjective who you think is nerdy. Because I mean, like,
because I'm not nerdy.
Are you gonna say Tom Holland's kind of like the like?
But that's Spider-Man, which is that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
But it is, we have somebody like Peter Quill who is, the guy who's always a step behind but happens to win. So it's almost like a version of that, and we love that.
Yeah, but we didn't get the Chris Pratt that should be that.
Yeah.
Like the version of Peter Quill we got was a very, very attractive, beefed up Chris Pratt.
Totally.
That we root for because when he takes his shirt off, everyone goes, "Oh my!"
Yeah.
Well, that's different than Parks and Rec.
If Scott Pilgrim was made nowadays, Michael Cera would have to get like an 8-pack and have like biceps and like pecs.
I love Jake.
I don't know. I think Frank was onto something, and we might throw Tom Holland in it as he is. And even though he's probably a bit more buff than Michael Cera is, he's still a little more like he still looks like he's 20. Like he's not.
But I think he gets the benefit of the doubt because he's playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's a good point though.
And he like
says, by the way, if Eugene Levy and Jason Statham play the same characters over and over, so can Sarah.
Well, it's different because look at what Eugene
those are
Levy,
two weird examples.
Well, also
those
look
are
at how old they are and the types of characters they're playing.
But that's also the ends of the spectrum. Eugene Levy and Jason Statham.
I think Manish is more onto something. Not necessarily that he was playing the same character, but it was a little bit of overload. He says this was also part of a string of a lot of Sarah films: Juno, Youth Revolt, Year One, Nick and Nora, so on and so forth. So right around that time, and Year One was like terrible.
Oh God, Year One,
dude, Youth and Revolt was fucking awful. Okay?
Oh yeah.
But it's also interesting. Go ahead, PJ.
Jesse Eisenberg would be the closest to Michael Cera.
Well, that was always the joke of them getting confused for each other.
Yeah.
But this movie showed so many different, like, we've never seen Mary Elizabeth Winstead do anything like this again. Same with Brie Larson, Brandon Routh. Like, they got to do so wildly different things.
Yeah.
But people just kind of swept it under the rug after this movie came out.
So I want to point out, like, right here, this is clearly where the alternate ending is setting up for them to come back together, which is so interesting to me. Like, this stays pretty much the same until the ending is completely.
And you know what? Like, you really think that, like, he's fighting for Ramona, but you're, like, pulling for Knives because, like, she's turned this corner, and it's like, well, maybe Scott should go for Knives. She's like fighting for Scott, and albeit in a different kind of sense.
Well, and Scott's turned a corner too, so like, you could see them actually working.
I don't think Scott's turned enough of a corner. I think he's turned a corner enough to maybe be good enough to treat Ramona right, but not Knives at this point. I just don't see him having made that much progress.
And that's the thing of I think if there is a detriment to this movie is that Knives is too young and too innocent to truly understand like what she's fighting for.
Yeah.
And I think the ending sets up that it's not that Scott doesn't she doesn't deserve Scott, it's that Scott doesn't deserve her.
But that's my thing is like Scott has not turned a corner enough to where I would feel comfortable with him ending up with Knives.
Totally. But I'm hoping she learns enough to be like, oh, I don't want to be with someone like Scott.
Yeah.
He's a horrible person.
He's got a lot to deal with still before we can talk about that.
She deserves someone way better. She's like,
she deserves not young Neil.
Young Neil.
Was right.
Yeah.
Wallace was
Stephanie says, I'm dying laughing listening to your reaction to the comparison about Eugene Levy and Jason Statham. Mike K says, how come we've never seen Sarah and Eisenberg in a movie together? Too much to handle?
Yeah.
Well, actually, going back to that, Sarah and Eisenberg, like 2010's interesting year for both of them because they both have these such iconic roles in this year that are so against their normal type. That like that play into their type but are against them.
2 hours. I just wanted to point that out. Go ahead, Jim. Good line.
Like like Sarah has this one obviously, and it plays against his. It's a different character than he normally plays. Whereas in Eisenberg has Social Network, which is completely
which cements
different.
him as that character for the fast talking. Like I'm slightly ahead of everybody. And then, like, even when he's in a big blockbuster like Batman v Superman, they're like, do your Jesse Eisenberg thing, but just do it crazier.
And
it doesn't work.
But I loathe that so much that they're like, just be Jesse Eisenberg and it'll work fine. But you're right, it did cement him as being able to do that character very well.
Totally. But Jesse Eisenberg chooses a lot of weird, smaller movies to, like, The Art of Self-Defense last year was great. Vivarium this year that he's in looks really interesting.
Like 2 movies I've never heard of.
Chris Adams says that shot.
Highly Irresistible is really good.
I haven't seen that
one.
Chris says that shot was so cool. I don't disagree. I think that's the raining quarters thing is great. Stephanie also says, wouldn't raining quarters hurt? Yes.
See all those coins that have a gold center but a silver outer?
Yeah.
That's a toonie, everybody. There's a goose on one side and then an island on the other.
Nega Scott.
I love the Nega Scott, and this reminds me really heavily of Legend of Zelda as well, because you fight Nega Link a lot in Ocarina of Time.
Do you notice the pattern on him is like a comic book pattern? It has all the dots.
Yeah. He's actually really creepy looking with the red eyes, I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, many people would be very creepy with red eyes, PJ.
That's very, very true.
Except Cyborg, which is cool.
I think this is so stupid and hilarious.
He's really good. Would they get him brunch?
He just walks off.
Just a really nice guy, you know.
It's so stupid.
But it also shows like a jerk like this would get along with a jerk like himself.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on. Oh, pardon me.
See, and there it is. Like they were clearly setting up for.
Yeah.
It would have been weird to see this movie with the alternate ending, but I still wonder if it would have worked.
He should just had a threesome. Dude.
I think it does.
This is not
like,
Chasing Amy.
I like the original
Right.
better.
That would be great.
I think it very much Knives does not deserve to be with someone like Scott.
I don't.
She
think
will
so
like,
either.
yeah, like Ramona is broken, Scott is broken, and maybe they can like fix themselves together. Whereas like Knives is a more well-equipped person and deserves someone who will treat her better.
I'm with Frank on this.
She's still at a point.
Works.
She's still at a point where she's learning who she is. She's a high school kid. Like,
Totally.
I had nothing figured out about myself.
Scott's also 22. He's not like terribly
but the
mature
person
either.
but the person I was at 17, 18 is vastly different than who I was at 22.
That's fair, but like it's not like dramatically different than say if Scott was 30 and Ramona or Knives is 22. Like
I have to disagree.
Yeah, I'm with Taylor on this one.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's as drastic a difference as you might think, but yes, it can be.
It's the difference between dating someone who's in high school versus dating someone who's in college, where you truly have not experienced the world in a way that like, and Scott really has not dealt with the consequences of his actions, and this whole movie is about that.
Right.
And now he's finally accepting, okay, let me not put that baggage on you. Let you like find somebody that you can grow through this with. And then, Ramona is somebody who's dealt with that baggage.
I love them together though, so either way I'm really happy.
I get why test audiences didn't like him ending up with Knives. Because I think also they would have maybe felt like, well, hang on, he just fought all those seven. Like,
right, what's the point? Right.
He also treated her like crud, and I'm like, I don't want to. No.
Because at least like Ramona is to me a better person than Scott, but not by a lot. Like she's not great either, obviously.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's
also a great ending.
Oh,
it's again really playing into the video game aspect of it all.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
So this movie, guys, is still so good. Easily one of the best comic book adaptations maybe ever, because it is a comic book. That's why it works. Going around
Pill, second listed.
Let's go around real quick. Skipping Jacob, Taylor, on this revisit, how did you feel?
I mean, I feel how I always feel revisiting this movie, where it just brings me so much joy because there's so much to look at. There's so much going on. As we were all trying to talk about it as it was going, there's just so many little things that you can pick up on constantly. And by the time you're trying to talk about it, there's 6 new things that have gone by to appreciate. And I don't think I'll ever stop just adoring everything about this movie. The cast, the editing, the directing, how smart the writing is. This is just a giant labor of love from so many different people. And I just love it so much. Jacob, please tell us your opinion before Pat tells you not to.
And this is where we shut that off.
No, that rewatch really cemented. No, I really, really like this movie. Like, I think it's a really, really great film and a lot of fun and just makes you laugh, smile. I think, I think it's definitely a really great film. Like, I don't know. There is something about it that just stops me from being absolutely fawning over it, completely in love. But I think it's a 4 out of 5, a really, really great film, and I really enjoy it a hell of a lot.
Well, and I'm glad that you still enjoy it. I like to give you a hard time just because it's you and it's fun. But I mean, it's hard not to appreciate this movie. Like you guys were saying, the cast is so good. The direction is amazing. It's got a vibe of its own, and it's, just really, really fun. Hogue, with the revisit, has any of your thoughts changed? Did you see anything new that you enjoy?
I mean, it's every time I see a movie that it's been a while since I've seen, especially after I've gone to film school and like made films of my own and really have like appreciated the craft of filmmaking. It's stuff like this that is so individualistic and so, unlike anything I've ever seen, that I get why people wouldn't like it. It very much is very specific and is very hitting like a target that, is kind of secluding from a lot of other people. but I don't know. It's a great movie. I love video games. I love comics. I love
Me
all
too.
this kind of like pop culture sort of thing. So like, let alone it hitting those kind of standards for me. It's just a really well directed movie. Everything I've said before, I'm just going to repeat myself.
Can we just talk about how great the music list is as it goes by the way? Like, just
Yeah.
all the music.
And it's set in Canada. Can we all appreciate Toronto? I was wrong about Vancouver, but still Toronto. It like, it might not be the best city in Canada, but it's okay. It's clean, I guess. No, but it truly is. It shows that this is a movie that shouldn't work. And if you believe in a vision enough, it can work. And if, you have the talent and you are really passionate about the source material, you can make any. I've never seen this part of the
Yeah,
credits.
this little post-credit scene is
Oh
so,
my goodness.
this-
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I like it is the little post-credit scene at the end. It's such a perfect... Also, these credits are like 3.5 minutes, some of the shortest credits ever, which...
Yeah, that went by really quickly.
Yeah, that did actually. I was like, oh.
I've
Great
always
film. Edgar Wright cements himself as, the filmmaker's kind of auteur because he proved that if you just stick to your guns, you can do anything and there will be an audience for it. So, love the movie. Nothing more I can say about it. Frank, what do you think?
Frank, what did you think of this? And guys, real quick, before Frank jumps in, hang out for a few more minutes. We're going to announce Monday night's watch-along in just a second.
Every time I watch this movie, I just have
Frank
a good
has...
time, and it's so fun. It's so... What's that?
You
You
froze,
froze for a second. We missed.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, yeah. I just
No, we
had
don't
a
want
great
to hear
time.
what it was. Wanted to let you know you froze. I can't tell if he froze again or if he's just.
Yeah.
Well done. Okay, yeah, okay, no.
So-
On with the bit.
Yeah. No, every time I see this movie, I watch this movie, I just have a good time. It's one of those movies that I just, because I know it so well, it's one of those I can just throw on in the background and think like I'll get stuff done, but then I'll just be like, then I'll end up sitting there for 30 minutes because like a sequence happens. I'm like, damn, this is so good.
But
And
it's weird that it's one of those aesthetic movies that if it's on, you're like, oh, it's just background, like it's pretty to look at, but you can also sit and like focus.
Yes, definitely. And so for that reason, I enjoy it immensely, and because it's unlike any other comic book movie adaptation you'll find for sure. So that's what makes it unique in that sense. And obviously, just the way the movie just starts, I said this up top, it just hooks me, and I just from there on I'm just in it, and I love all the performances, all the action. It just really has everything that I personally look for in terms of like a feel-good movie, and it delivers on all those fronts.
So I want to go to the chat real quick. Chris Adams says that he picked up on a lot of the allegorical moments more this time, really nailing how amazing the movie is. Gigawatt says the direction is perfect. Personality, creativity, great acting, fantastic editing, and an 8-bit sound effect. What is not to love? Chris Adams asks, was it probably shot in Vancouver? No, it actually said in the credits, I believe, that it was shot in Toronto.
Yeah, it was.
So that's really great. Javier, LOL, Frank, at you in your freeze frame.
Yeah.
Chris says,
well done. Good bit.
Yeah.
And Gigawatt says freeze frame, and that's very perfect. So number one, for everyone who watched, we had quite a few viewers in and out throughout the show, and thank you guys who stayed with us from beginning to end. Again, we can't do this without you, so thank you for the support. I mean, I know it means the world to me. I know it means the world to everyone who's here because we're still small, we're still fledgling, but we're having a good time. Like Frank, Hogue, and I have been talking about trying to do this stuff for over a year, and now we're actually getting to do it.
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah,
It just took a pandemic and the world was shut down.
Yeah, literally, the world had to shut down for us to actually have the time to do it. But yet here we are. Like, we even got people in Australia to come and hang out with us, and that's fucking amazing. Like, we're around the world, we're hanging out, we're having a really, really good time. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. If you are here and you haven't already, head down, hit the like button. If you guys enjoyed this and you have friends who like Scott Pilgrim and you thought we were fun, share this with them so that they can watch our insanity with Scott Pilgrim because they deserved it just as much as you guys did. So with that, we are doing another watch along Monday night. Monday nights are going to be known as our animated nights. And this one I'm very, very excited about. It's
Drumroll.
is a little bit newer. Actually, a lot of it newer. New enough that it just hit Disney Plus this week, and we are going to be talking about Pixar's Onward. We are going to do an Onward watch along Monday night, 7 p.m. PST, 10 p.m. EST. Once again, I'm very excited to revisit this one. I think it got a little bit of a bum rap with everything going on. The COVID stuff really derailed it. Has anyone? Am I the only one here who's seen it? Who's seen Onward?
No, we saw it. We got to see it on the
seen
big
it.
screen.
Yeah, we
Did
went to a
not.
screening.
We got a screening of it before it got pulled.
Yeah.
So it actually technically has not come out in Australia. It did not get it is technically a VOD film because it did not get a theatrical release. It went straight to iTunes.
Yeah.
Hogue?
I have seen it. I saw it in theaters. I have thoughts, and I'm excited to see it again this recently.
And Frankie, have you seen it yet?
I have not.
Okay, so this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to revisit it. Like I said, I think it got a little bit of a bum rap when it came out. With it being on Disney Plus, it means anyone who's watching right now is going to get the chance to watch it as well. So if you have a Disney Plus account, we really hope that you'll be back here on Monday. Again, if you guys are enjoying the channel, please subscribe. Without you guys, we cannot do this. Like, we just can't. We need your support, so thank you guys for continuing to do so. With that, Taylor, where can everyone find you online?
Oh gosh, most of my stuff is at Finally Tailored, usually, or some variation of that. So if you search that Finally Tailored right down there, that's usually where you can find me. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere basically.
Jacob?
You guys can find me at Jacob Blunden on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. But you can also find me hosting our show 10 Years On the Finally Tailored YouTube channel, where we review movies from 10 years ago this week. So every week we go through, review the films that opened 10 years ago. So in August, we'll be reviewing Scott Pilgrim. So you can come and get our detailed thoughts in August about Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Awesome. The chat is very excited, by the way, that we're doing Onward. A bunch of people lost their minds. They're saying they're going to cry 5 times while we all watch it together. Danny Ramirez says, "Oh my God, yes, please." John, I'm sorry that you're part of the Dead Parents Club. I don't know how to respond to that, so I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Hogue, where can the kids find you?
Off of that transition, you're leading into me? Okay.
That was the only. You were the next one. I'm sorry.
I'm ready. No, I'll take it. No, you can find me on Instagram at Pat the Canadian. My Twitter is Hogue_filmmaker. I don't tweet a lot, but I'm there sometimes. Instagram, you'll find me a lot more on. Go to Crypt TV, the horror YouTube channel. You'll see my latest short film, So. SEW is featured as one of their films. It's doing really well on there. And check out my Vimeo, Patrick Hogue, Hogue. Type that into Vimeo, and you'll find my page. I have all my films on there. I'm an artist. What do you want?
Frankie J, where can all the kids find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at FrankieJ29.
Awesome. And of course, you guys can find me here. We're always doing content. We are going to be doing a new episode of the PJ Campbell Show. It'll be Hogue, myself, and Maxwell Haddad. We are going to be doing that on Sunday, 1 p.m. PST here on the channel. We will do it live. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come hang out. We're going to talk about Broadway shows, some of the stuff Hogue is doing. Frank, if you're free, you're more than welcome to join as well.
No, he's not.
I had a feeling you might have had work. That's why I didn't want to say that. But of course, you guys.
Frank can't make it.
You can find me on Twitter at PJ_Campbell as well as Instagram. Join the Facebook group. The PJ Campbell Network has a Facebook group. Go join. You can also like the page. That's where you can actually watch the streams on Facebook too, which is pretty cool because StreamYard is great. So thank you guys again for all the continued support. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Stay smart, please. This COVID stuff is still crazy. I don't want to find out any of you are sick because I like all of you.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands unless you're Jacob. Have a great day, everyone.
And join us for Family Game Night tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. And Family Game Night tomorrow night, 7 p.m., 10 p.m. EST. We're going to be playing lots of games. Bye, guys.